I'll give you an example. In Leviticus chapter 10, Nadab and Abihu are burned alive from fire from God because they made a whimsical decision, in my estimation. They were told in previous chapter how to light the altar of burnt incense in the tabernacle. There was an altar there, and you would put incense in it and you would light it. They were to get the fire from the altar of burnt offering, which was outside the tabernacle. And they were to take a coal of that, put it in a censer, and while they're walking, that fire would light the incense, and they would put that in the altar of burnt incense. Well, this was the first time that it had been done. And they knew that they needed to light the altar of burnt incense, and they got fire. Strange fire, the Bible says. And they lit it. Well, they lit it, but they didn't get it from the proper source. They did it on a whim. We need fire? Okay, let's get some fire. And they just, here's some fire, and they did it. And that was so intensely wrong with God that He sent fire from heaven and devoured them. Now that's terrifying. And so people think, well, maybe that's a little overboard. We can't follow the Bible to that. Surely God isn't going to do that for us today. But what we find out as New Testament Christians is that the New Testament has things aligned so that we can be that intricate with our lives, and it's very doable because New Testament Christianity is different from the Old Testament. And that's a differentiation that people don't understand, is the difference between the Old and New Testament, something that we'll have to talk about in the future. And that's why we need to make sure that, are we understanding the Bible correctly so that we can parse these things out, because God does care about everything. And a whimsical decision might be fun if you're going to the movies. What movie am I going to go to? Or what restaurant? Hey, why don't we just drop what we're doing and go get an ice cream? That would be great. But when it comes to religious matters, we don't need to make whimsical decisions. And a lot of people will do that. Well, there's another one called comparative decision making. And